Good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for tuning in and joining us today for another edition of the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services Lunch and Learn series. My name is Vivian Turner, and I am the Chief Administrator for Franklin County Job and Family Services. And I'm very excited to facilitate and host today's discussion about on behalf of the Franklin County Commissioners, on our Franklin County Ready to Earn programming, summer youth employment programming. As I said, we'll focus on summer youth employment, and we'll be highlighting some of the paid work experience opportunities available for young people in the summer and hearing directly from some of our service providers and partners. But before we begin our conversations, I'd like to share a bit of a background just so you'll know why this conversation is so critical to our community's youth and families. Afterward, we'll dive right into questions with our panelists. So many of you may be wondering, what is Franklin County doing to provide summer youth employment opportunities for families this summer? Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services has partnered with the Columbus Urban League, the Godman Guild Association, Lead the Way Learning Academy, Nationwide Children's Hospital, and St. Stephen's Community House for our Franklin County Ready to Earn Summer Youth Employment Program. Ready to Earn offers youth and young adults ages 14 to 21 the opportunity to get great real-world experience and develop skills to be successful in the workplace, all while earning wages to help them meet their basic needs. They'll receive training in essential workplace behaviors, including punctuality, professionalism, teamwork, workplace skills, and other things such as critical thinking and communications. Our 14 and 15-year-olds will take part in a 6-week work-based learning program, which is designed to explore careers in technology, engineering, project management, and the arts. The participants will receive program stipends of up to $1,300 just for participating and can earn an additional $300 in incentives. Youth ages 16 to 18 over the course of the summer will have the opportunity to participate in traditional work experiences with government, nonprofits, and private sector organizations where they can earn wages up to $15 per hour. And finally, young adults ages 18 and up can participate in those same age groups. Those 16 to 18-year-olds can also participate in pre-apprenticeship training in the automotive, building, and construction trades, transportation, non-clinical healthcare, and in the logistics industry. Just this morning, our commissioners voted to invest more than $5.1 million in funding to support summer and year-round youth employment this year, including funding from President Biden's American Rescue Plan. Ready to Earn also supports the Commissioner's Rise Together blueprint to reduce poverty in Franklin County, which highlights the need for career readiness supports for students with exposure to work and integrated skills-based learning. It is also a response to the Commissioner's declaration of gun violence as a public health crisis, especially among our youth. Our Ready to Earn programs demonstrate Franklin County's commitment to funding summer youth employment, after school, and engagement activities to give our youngest residents alternatives to social isolation and mental stress that can pose a risk for their safety and their well-being. With that said, joining us this afternoon are panelists Tony Cunningham, President and CEO of the Godman Guild Association, along with her colleague, just one second, please, along with her colleague, Katie Fuller, who is the Program Director for our Ready to Earn. We also have Ms. Janine Hooks, Vice President of the Columbus Urban League, and Chris Williams, the Program Manager for the Urban League Summer Ready to Earn program. And finally, we have Carmen Barnes, with us, who is Assistant Director here at Job and Family Services, who oversees the community contracts and programs area, as well as our child care and workforce development departments. We also may have a former participant joining us this afternoon who will share a little bit more about their personal experience in the program last year. Thank you to all of you for being here with us. And we'll just dive right into it, and we'll start off with some questions for Carmen. Carmen, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with Franklin County Ready to Rise, Ready to Earn, I should say.
Sure. So I'm the Assistant Director of, as you mentioned, over Child Care, Community Contracts, and Workforce Programs. And we have some amazing workforce programs that we offer for adults in our community, but we don't need to wait for our residents to be adults to be able to expose them to new opportunities and help them develop the skill sets that they'll need to be successful in our community. So our role with Ready to Earn really is to help our young people kind of identify what they do well, what opportunities they have, what skills that they have to offer in the marketplace in the future, and then get them some early exposure in a no-risk way during the summertime.
Okay. So another question, Carmen, for you. What is the role of our provider partners in the Ready to Earn program?
Awesome. That's a great question. What we ask of our provider partners, or what another phrase would be, our employers. They will actually host our youth for the summer. And what we ask of them is to just offer a meaningful experience to our young people. So our young people have been in school all year. They've been learning a lot of things, but they're not sure how they can apply the things that they learned this summer. So for our employer partners who work with us, we ask that they give the youth an opportunity to be exposed to the industry that they work in, as well as develop some foundational skill sets that they need to excel in that industry. Help them see how math applies in real life, as I like to say, or how science can, how you can use science to create a real career, or even how their arts could turn into an entrepreneurial venture. That's what we look forward to them doing this summer.
Thank you, Carmen. So I'm going to turn right over to Janine, to basically Janine and Tony, and ask a couple of questions of you. And either one, you can start off. Maybe Tony, if you start first, can you tell us a bit about the opportunities your organization specifically will be offering as a part of Ready to Earn this summer?
Yes, great. Thank you for the question. And thank you to Franklin County for this continued partnership. We really appreciate the opportunity to serve our young people in this way. So this year, along with the 2 weeks of intense work readiness prep, we will offer our participants the opportunity to gain the Ohio Means Jobs Readiness Seals in the areas of talking about entrepreneurship, website and app development, smart automation, digital literacy, Adobe Photoshop, STNA, and a lot of different things. We're going to partner with other community providers. So this year we're working with NCUS. Excited to deepen our partnership with them. We partnered with them last year. We're excited to grow that relationship and offer even more training opportunities. We're also going to partner with Oasis. And I don't know if many people have heard about Maurice Womack and the work that he is doing with STEM and STEM education, well, really technology. So we're going to focus on low code, no code app development. They're going to talk about the jobs that folks are preparing for at Intel and look at some of the skills that are needed to maybe end up with a career with that organization, and how we can start to bridge our young people and expose them to even more opportunities in the technology space. So we're really excited to partner with these folks and have our young people achieve these seals that go towards their graduation diplomas and really give them a true work readiness, career readiness experience that supports them as they continue on, whether they go to higher education or whether they go straight into the workforce.
Thank you so much, Tony. That is so exciting. I think I want to go back and be a young person again, take advantage of all of those wonderful opportunities. So with that said, Janine, can you answer the same exact question? What are the kinds of opportunities that you will offer to Ready to Earn participants this summer?
You would think after 2 years of being on camera, I'd figure out how to unmute myself. Hello, everyone, and thank you for the question. Thank you very much, Franklin County, for supporting the programs that we've had here at the Columbus Urban League for going over 10 plus years now and being able to impact the lives of our youth through workforce readiness training. It is an honor to be in this space, and it's a challenge to go after Miss Tony Cunningham and their phenomenal program. I feel like there's some gems that I can definitely mine from what they're doing over there. So congratulations, Tony. It sounds wonderful. We too are focused on many of the very same things that was mentioned by my colleague over at the Godman Guild. The Ohio, the domains from the OMJ shop is definitely part of our repertoire and our curriculum. I just want to be a bit more general in terms of the pathways that we're focused on for youth. Not only is it entrepreneurship, we're also looking at employment opportunities. Some kids want to go right to work. Some of our youth want to go to higher ed. So we're exposing them to HBCU campuses and a variety of college visit and opportunities. And some of our youth may want to enlist and serve their country in another way. So we want to make sure that they understand what all of those pathway opportunities will be. We're also very much focused on STEAM. We understand what's happening here in Central Ohio and all of the economic development that's coming our way, and learning how to be in high-tech manufacturing is definitely part of what young people should be exposed to. And I'm going to kind of kick it over to Chris and let him dive into all the exciting things that we have going on with STEAM Week, with our HBCU tours, with our employment and career tours, just to give you a few other nuggets and highlights on what we're doing. Chris, can you talk for just a couple minutes on the highlights? Thank you.
Yes, you got it. Can everyone hear me pretty well?
Absolutely, can hear you well. Thank you, Chris. And we seem to.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
So yes, so what we like to call. Okay, so our first useful gems on our campus, that is our prerequisite sessions where we're getting students prepared and acclimated for our campus, different types of assessments and personality tests. Our second phase will be our summit, our leadership summit, where we partner with Aaron Pink and ICE Mentors to do a 3-day summit at Otterbein to develop our leaders so that we can be prepared for our summer program and having our students lead their peers compared to our leadership staff leading the students. And then we have our summer piece where we have 6 weeks of curriculum.
Yeah, I think you're breaking up just a little bit, Chris. So if you could go back and just repeat that, the beginning of that first sentence there.
Where from soft skills training to our STEAM week, we've partnered with Pyramid to do drone.
Hey, Chris, I think we're breaking up just a little bit here. So why don't we kind of pop back in, let you take a minute, maybe reset.
Okay, so we have our summer, which is alignment with our OMJ donor. We have our.
I think Chris is having a few technology difficulties here, which we all know in this new world of Zoom and Teams. It happens quite frequently. So Janine, if we'll let Chris kind of come back after we talk with Kiana.
Perfect.
And wrap up and talk about those programs. So I'm just going to move forward with my second question for both you and Tony, and I'll let you kick this one off. Can you share some past success stories of former participants with us?
Absolutely. Last year, we had youth that earned well over $400,000 just in the dollars through stipends and through wage earnings. We served 350 plus students. So I think that's the big win, right? I want kids to know that these are some real checks that they can take away from being part of our programming. When it comes to some of the specific wins, I'm not going to name anyone, but we had some young people that came in that didn't know how to really engage in the program in a healthy and productive way. They were doing the things that they've always done, perhaps in school or in their neighborhood. But once they understood the value of the coaches and the mentoring, the career exposure opportunities, the mock interviews, and really just the one-on-one development. They dove right into that information and they blossomed, to be honest with you. And they just turned the corner. And we were proud to say that a youth that we thought was not going to be able to finish the first week was able to successfully complete the program, engage in an internship, and we're looking forward to having them come back on this year to take that next step up in terms of their development and becoming prepared for the workforce. So that's the best success story that we have. The kids are earning money. They're changing and developing into their best possible selves, and they're willing to come back and get more from us in terms of what we have to offer through this program.
Excellent,
Tony?
excellent. So the program is doing exactly what it was intended to do. It's that place where their first opportunity to work and get accustomed to what the traditional work place looks like. So thank you for that. Tony, I'm going to ask you the same question. Can you give us a success story from past participants?
Sure. So I think I would echo a little bit of what Janine talked about when she talked about individuals returning. So, of course, there's all the nuances of what young people need to graduate now and how the rules keep changing and things keep changing. So one of the success stories we had was that we had a young person who had put in a lot of work, and his district didn't really know how to receive the seals that he had earned. And so he had to advocate for himself. And I like to believe that he picked up that self-efficacy in our training and our programs to learn how to go through a process, advocate for himself. Ultimately, what he found out was they had not had a mechanism for receiving his diploma seals correctly, which was about to impact his 2023 graduation. So after he advocated for himself, he reached back out to us. We supported and provided the needed documentation, and he was able to turn that in, and he got what he needed. And so when you think about empowering versus enabling, and making sure that young people understand to take charge of their own careers and their own trajectory and to follow through. I think that was a good example. I think the other success that we have is that, year over year, more than 50% of our staff return. We do a lot of seasonal staff. And so it's helpful that they enjoy their experience. They want to come back. They're invested in the young people. And so they come back year over year, and also the young people that return. So it's almost like a continuation, which is what we want to build with the Godman Guild anyway, as we work with individuals from kindergarten to career. So we want that consistency year over year. So to see a lot of the familiar faces who continue to evolve as the program evolves is exciting for us.
So I'm going to ask one final question before I go straight to our youth participant who was able to join us. And so this one last question for both you and Janine. What do you think the most important thing is that parents need to know about the Ready to Earn program? Tony, you can kick that off since you're already here.
Okay. So I would say need to know how to support and encourage. We want to make sure that everyone who starts finishes, right? We don't want any attrition. The county has put the dollars out there for the stipend. We want to make sure that we encourage, reward, support. And so a lot of times, that parental push to get out of the bed, be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, make sure you turn in your documentation and paperwork, make sure you follow through. They need that nudge. We're telling them when they get to us, hey, you got to do this so you can get what we have for you, but we need that nudge on the other side. So I think the most important thing that parents need to know is that their engagement and support in this process is pivotal. I mean, we need it. We have to have it in order for there to be a well-rounded experience for our young people and for them to learn what we need them to learn as they continue to matriculate through this journey from education to employment.
Well said. I couldn't echo those sentiments more. That is spot on. And I would say to add add to that is for the parents to know that the intersection between what they're doing in either one of our programs, and what the parents are trying to do, their hopes and aspirations for their young person can be realized because of the passion and the commitment and the love that all of our staff have for each and every one of those young people that come through our door. And I think as a parent myself, I want to know that I'm sending my young person to a place where they're going to be cared for and nurtured and loved just as much as they're loved at home. And believe me, they're going to get that when they come through the doors of our program. And I believe also the program at the Godman Guild.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate those comments. So I'll come back to you because I have a couple of wrap-up questions I'm going to follow up. So please stay with us. But right now I want to talk to, and I'm going to ask her to introduce herself because I'm probably going to pronounce her name incorrectly. So we have our youth participant with us, and I do not want to introduce you incorrectly. So if you pop on for us and share with us the correct pronunciation of your name, I certainly would appreciate it.
Welcome, Koya.
Koya, thank you, thank you. Koya, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Can you hear? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I don't think her sound is working.
Right, so we're having more technical difficulty than we would probably want to have this afternoon, but we're going to get it together. And so if our team can kind of work with Koya to ensure that we can hear her, and Koya, I'll be right back with you, okay? So I'll take this opportunity as we fix her sound so that she can join us and share with you all specifically about what the Ready to Earn program is for a young person. I'm going to ask Tony and Janine to talk about this one question, and that's what's the most important thing a young person who's on the fence about joining or participating in this year's summer employment program, Ready to Earn. What would you say to them about the registration and how easy and simple it could be? What would be your advice?
I'll take this one and I'll start. I would say, don't count yourself out. Do not count yourself out because you might not know everything that's going in it. Don't count yourself out because you might think it's corny and only, those kids get to do those types of things. Don't count yourself out because no one's ever told you that you were worthy enough to go through a program such as this. To count yourself in, because we're here to make sure that you get everything that you need and more to be as successful as possible. This is not school or summer school program. This is really a work development program that's going to help you make that bridge to your next as it relates to going into owning your own business. Maybe you want to be a social influencer or a social media entrepreneur, or going into enlist in the military. Maybe you want to serve your country. Maybe you want to go to an HBCU. You've never been able to walk on a college campus and have that experience. Or maybe you want to learn how to go and work at a plant such as big as Intel, or maybe you want to learn how to work in a mom and pop organization and support them. We're going to help you every step of the way. So when I was a young person, there weren't programs like this that were there to help us understand who we could be, and just know that we're here to give you everything you possibly need. Don't count yourself out, count yourself in, give us a shot. And I think you'll be overwhelmed and overjoyed with all of the relationships, the connections and the mentorship, and of course, the exposure and the experience that you're going to get through this program. It's fun and you get to make money at the same time. I mean, it's the best of everything, right?
Absolutely, absolutely agree with you. Go ahead, Tony.
I was just gonna say, I couldn't have said it better. I love that. Don't count yourself out, count yourself in. And we run into so many obstacles and barriers oftentimes just trying to do the right thing or trying to move forward. I promise you our teams are working hard to make it easy for you to engage and to make it fun, to make it impactful, and then come be ready to learn and ready to work. I mean, that sense of accomplishment that you feel at the end of the summer when you get those seals, you get those stipends, you hit those milestones and people are cheering for you and pushing for you. And who knows, because since you're still on a journey of self-discovery, you may figure out during this process, and we hope that you do, what it is you truly, truly want to do and where you want to invest your life's work. What I tell people is, you only get one shot and this is not a dress rehearsal. So as early as you can figure out what your passion is, what your desires are, what your purpose is, and how you want to leverage that and how you want to use your life, this gives you an opportunity to explore some of those things. So I would say count yourself in, be ready for a transformational experience and making some money.
Thank you both. That
Nothing
was
like your name on that first paycheck, right? Nothing like your name on that paycheck.
Nothing like it. Nothing like
Yeah, so thank you both. I think we heard wonderful opportunities, things you possibly didn't even think of, and also you get paid to learn all of these wonderful things. So thank you both. I think we have Koya back on the line and she's able to join us. So I'd like to ask you a couple of questions, Koya. Why don't you
Okay.
start by just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I'm Koya Crutherd. I'm 18. I'm a high school senior at Cristo Rey, and I've been going there for all of my 4 years. After this year, I will be attending Ohio State University, and I'm dual majoring in criminal justice and social work. And I'm passionate about working with kids, helping to change the world, and helping to help families that have gone through abuse.
Phenomenal. Congratulations on being accepted into college, and looking forward to seeing you when you graduate, because we certainly want to stay in touch with our young people. So with that said, Koya, tell us a little bit about your summer work experience.
Okay, so I was with the Ready to Earn program in 2021. So my memory is not as clear on it just because that was 2 years. But what I do remember is we would meet basically weekly at Columbus State. I believe it was Columbus State, or at least right next to it. And it was hard for me to attend virtual meetings at times because we also did virtual meetings. It was kind of different every week. They gave us a laptop, or I got a laptop because I wasn't able to have access to one at home. And the things that I really remember is there was a big, really diverse group of people. It was our first virtual meeting, and I saw a lot of familiar faces. Like I saw people I had went to middle school with, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen them in a minute. And it was just really diverse. It was just everybody was different. And then whenever we would meet at Columbus State and we'd have our big meetings, our team building activities, there were so many different personalities, but I feel like it was all set up in the most perfect way. One thing that I remember a lot is I came a lot more out of my shell. I've always been kind of shy, and I still am, but I learned okay, my personality just brings something different to the table, and it contributes in a better way for our community. So it helped me a lot, not just professionally, but also personally. And yeah.
It's phenomenal. So what I heard is basically you met some new and old friends that you hadn't heard in a while, and the diversity of individuals who were in the room was phenomenal. And it helped you to come out of your shell a little bit, from what I can see. And so that was wonderful, because you're presenting excellently here today. So we'll take that back, and we so appreciate it. And Koya actually participated doing what we would consider a hybrid and COVID stage, but we still were able to provide some wonderful learning opportunities for young people. So we certainly appreciate that. Can you tell me what was the most important thing you think you took from that summer experience, Koya?
I don't know if I could say, I could maybe wrap it up into two very big ideas. One, the importance of networking and knowing people. Just going there, meeting all of the adults. I had a lot of more opportunities came my way just because I did that program. And I realized okay, this is more than just, oh, cute little summer program, you get a few dollars. It actually opened up more doors for me that I wouldn't have. And I was like, okay, this is really important. It's not just skills, it's also like offering opportunities. And then also, this kind of has to do with the shyness that I brought up. Being insecure and timid will definitely hold you back. And I realized that because during that time, in the beginning, I did not do all that I wanted to. I was just really nervous being around new people. Whenever we'd have motivational speaks, they would sometimes ask somebody to come up and do something. And I'd always be like, I want to do it, but I'm too shy to. And there would be times that they'd call somebody up and you would think they were just going to ask them a little question, then they'd walk away with like a whole like prize or something. And then they looked all accomplished at the end. And I had a lot of regret in me. Like, wow, I feel like this would have been a lot better for me if I would have taken more opportunities and not have been insecure and feeling like I was going to embarrass myself. Because like every time somebody went up there, everybody would just clap, cheer them on, be really supportive. So I had to realize it's not going to be different for me. So,
Yeah.
take every opportunity you can.
That's phenomenal. I mean, really, really phenomenal. And it speaks to, I believe the Godman Girl mentioned the young people who come back. So had a second summer you've been ready for it and ready to take on those new challenges, which you are today. So there was certainly a lot learned and a lot taken advantage of. And you are, what we see today on Facebook Live is that all of that was poured into you over that summer. You really have taken that and run with it and gained so much from it. And so wonderful presentation. I'm going to ask you one final question and then I'll let you off the hook here. If there's a young person who's thinking about joining the Summer Ready to Earn program, what would you say to them?
Well, actually, that's kind of funny because last summer, my sister, I'm an older sister, and my sister was 14 last summer, and my mom was trying to tell her, like, hey, do this, Koya did this. And she was real hesitant. She was like, I do not want to do any work over the summer, going into her freshman year. And I kind of helped to motivate her get out of that. And kind of what I tried to explain to them, and especially because I work with kids a lot and I always try to get them to do more. I want people to realize that in reality, there's not really a big loss. Like worst case scenario, I don't know, have some kind of boring moments. Like worst case scenario, you don't enjoy one of the meetings, but for all of the opportunities that you're going to get from it, for all of the people you're going to meet, for all of the skills you're going to gain, it's worth it. And especially with me, I'm a very hesitant person. I love protecting my peace. And if if I don't know that something's going to be for sure, I don't want to do it. So, saying to everybody that's like that, in reality, the good always, always outweighs the bad for something like that. That work program and then the one that I've done at my school, I cannot express how better as a professional it has made for me. And if you guys would have seen me before my program at the Columbus Urban League, you would have seen a big difference. So yeah.
Well, Janine, Koya has just sold your program as well as Tony's and kind of emphasizing why it's so important. Koya, I couldn't have said it better myself. That was phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Hopefully some young folks are out there listening, or parents, and really kind of getting a lot from what you actually gained from the Ready to Earn program a couple of years ago. And the programs are only getting better. So we're excited. Thank you so much again for joining us. I'm going to turn back now to Ms. Kerman Barnes, who is our program administrator, to ask her a couple of questions about some of the details of the program. I think we have a couple of questions coming in from the chat, but before we get to those, I'll ask you quickly, Kerman, can you tell us about the eligibility requirements for Ready to Earn?
Sure. So we have a couple of different funding sources with this year's program. We have our traditional TANF program, and for our TANF families and our families around the county that are familiar with TANF, you want to be at a certain percentage of the federal guidelines and have a minor in your house. So I always say that because each situation may look a little different for every family. And our partners would absolutely walk all of our families through the TANF eligibility process. But in addition to that, because our commissioners made a strong investment in our program this year, they have also invested with some unrestricted funding. So families who are not traditionally TANF eligible will also be able to participate this summer in our program. Their youth will be able to participate in the program in the summer. So again, I'm going to refer them back to each program provider to find out the specific details of eligibility, but those are just two highlights for you.
Okay, well, thank you. One quick question, and then I'm going to go back to our program partners here, or community partners who are going to be offering summer employment. Can you tell us how long the program is? And then I'll ask a follow-up question to the question that was posted in the chat.
So just because we have the providers that were named, so we have about 6 providers that are offering programs this summer. The programs vary in length. So we have programs that are very concentrated and will occur in a 4-week time period, but we also have programs that will extend to 6 or 8 weeks. And so it depends on what program you opt for and what program you actually enroll in as to the length of the program. Again, when they go to check out the different programs, all of our providers will be able to explain to them, how you can learn to build a website in 4 weeks, or how you can get exposed to healthcare in 6 weeks, or how you can develop your entrepreneurship skills in a 7 to 8 week program. So
Okay.
again, it will vary by provider and by the program.
Okay, and so that follow-up question in the chat says, if they needed to resign earlier due to enrollment or overlapping with school, would they be able to do so?
I think the beauty of that is that that's something that you learn in summer work employment, how to explain your situation and kind of work with your program partners to develop a resolution or a solution that works for everyone. So we know a lot of our youth participate in sports, and that requires conditioning in the morning or maybe a full week of conditioning. And we also know that they like to take vacation, which may be a week or a 2-week option for some of our families. So we love that our youth get the opportunity to have that conversation with the program providers when they apply for the program and make the necessary arrangements. And then our providers will let them know this particular program, if it's super concentrated, it may not work for them to be out for an extended period of time. But again, it will vary by youth and it will vary by program.
Thank you, Tony. So there's a lot available, and a lot available dependent upon your schedule, is what I hear you saying, that there may be an opportunity that is shorter for some than others. And so there probably is something for everyone. So we would encourage them to reach out and call and find out about all that's available this summer. Thank you. So I'm going to turn it back. I'm going to ask Janine and Tony to kind of jump back on and kind of answer a couple of wrap-up questions for us here. And got to think about a couple of questions left. Janine, can you tell us, how does a person what does a young person need to do to participate in the Ready to Earn program at the Columbus Urban League? And Tony, that same question for you.
Excellent question. The first thing is to visit our website. Go to cul.org, and right on our face page is the Ready to Earn Summer Work Readiness Training University. We've given it a little moniker. And take a look at that exciting website that we built that really speaks to the young person, and it walks the family through all the elements for the registration process. Or feel free, through the generous funding that we've gotten from the county, we now have a site specifically for this program, which is at 3443 Agler Road in the Somerset neighborhood. Some may also know it as the Homeport Building. They can go and visit there, and there are staff that are on the ready to talk to the family, introduce them to the space, and also walk them through the application. So I'm a hands-on person. I would rather see families go to the space so they can see it and meet the team and just really kind of get the vibe, if you will, and see just how youth friendly it is. It's like college and summer camp and something really kind of funky in between. It's really, really cool over there. So that's the best way to learn about the program and to be engaged. If they want to spend time at the campus, or if they want to go online, both of them are optimal ways to learn about how to enroll and get ready.
Thank you. And Tony?
Awesome. I know that we are still devising our full process. There is an opportunity, though, to reach out to us to leave your information for our launch, which will be May 22nd, where we will actually begin the pre-registration process. Like I said, we have more than 50% of the folks already identified that want to come back. So we will definitely begin that pre-registration and have people confirm their commitment during that week. I also want to let our program director, KD, share any other ways that they may be able to make contact early on to register or to make their interest known in our program.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, thank you. The best way right now to get involved in our pre-registration process is just to call our phone number for the Godman Guild, 614-294-5476. You'll get our voicemail and you'll leave a message with your name and your phone number and that you're interested in Ready to Earn. And you will be on that list and you'll be contacted probably within the next 2 weeks to start the registration process and check to make sure you're eligible. But yeah, we're super excited about everything we're going to do. And we have multiple program sites that depending upon which track you take, you will be going and attending. So
Absolutely.
it's gonna
Thank
be
you
awesome.
so much, Katie. And I believe that we will have a link to all of our Ready to Earn activities, including the Godman Guild and the Columbus Urban League at our site. And we'll make sure that that is posted in the chat on our summer page. It actually probably already is in the chat. But if not, we'll make sure it's there so that you'll be aware and able to contact all of our programming. And so I want to go back to the Urban League because I believe that we may be ready to hear a little bit more. And I wanted to maybe circle back around to Chris to see if he was able to join us and get that technology glitch worked out to talk a little bit final wrap up of what's available at the Urban League this summer. Chris, are you still with us?
Thank you, Ms. Vivian. He had to drop off. They are
Okay.
having some
Okay.
issues with the Wi-Fi out there.
Okay.
I think he really drilled in on our STEAM program, where we have an opportunity for you to explore a variety of pathways that's very hands-on and facilitator guided. We're going to visit the Kosai Honda exhibit. We're going to give the kids experience in software development. They're going to learn how to build drones, rubber band cars, have a creative art showcase where they learn how to do LED lights on like a electric flower or something. I'm not techie, so I'm not doing this justice at all. And just really learning how to develop those professional hands-on skills. And in partnering with Pyramid, they're going to learn how to build little computers. So that's really an exciting piece of the STEAM week. We're also taking the kids out on career tours. So they're going to get a chance to go to a variety of career locations, focus on these industries: health and beauty, the hospitality industry, the fashion industry, the banking industry, the insurance industry, high tech, as well as sports. So lots of things where kids can kind of get an understanding on what that is.
Yeah.
And there's so much more. I just don't want to take up all the air. I think my invitation is just check us out, right? Just come and see if there's a little something that we have to offer you.
Absolutely. So for the parents and youth out there, what I hear both from the Urban League as well as the Godman Guild Association, this is an opportunity to explore a variety of careers. So if you're not sure about what you want to do or what direction you want to take, the Summer Employment Ready to Earn program is the great way to learn about things you hadn't even thought about. So excited about that. So I'm going to ask Carmen to just join us one last time before I wrap up our Facebook Live this afternoon. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Tony, Katie, as well as Chris, even though he had to pop off, and our summer intern as well. Carmen, can you wrap up with one final question or answer to one final question? Can you tell us how employers who may be interested in participating as a work site could possibly be able to join and participate in the Ready to Earn program?
Absolutely. So we know that this opportunity will probably get a lot of interest from employers. They can reach out to us directly at FCDJFS. If they go to our website, I believe we will have a link for them there. where they can just put in some information about the work experience opportunity that they have, and then we will share it with our program partners. If they have any trouble with the link, I think what we're going to have our program manager do, her name is Marcy Littlejohn. We are going to have her put her email address in the chat. So that'll be a backup for us. So if we don't, if there's a reason that we can't link them on the website, then they can certainly reach out to Marcy Littlejohn, marcy.littlejohn@jfs.ohio.gov.
And I believe she did post that in the chat. So thank you so much. Koya, thank you again. Phenomenal job. I'm looking forward to Koya hosting next year. If she's here with us, I mean, I think she'll probably do a better job than I did this time. So Koya, put that on your calendar, that hosting the Facebook Live event for next summer's program. We look forward to working with you. She's saying yes. So that is phenomenal. Thank you. So this has been an educational and enriching Facebook Live event. I hope all of our viewers have had a chance to learn something today. Thank you again to all of our panelists for joining and engaging with us this afternoon. And thank you to everyone who took time out of your workday to learn more about the Ready to Earn Summer Employment Program and the opportunities that the Franklin County and the Board of Commissioners has made available for young people this summer. Our lunch and learns are recorded, so if you missed this part, or if you know of someone who was not able to tune in, please let them know that on our Facebook page that you can share the link with them. And to learn more about the Ready to Earn program, visit our summer youth page at jfs.franklincountyohio.gov/summer. Again, that's jfs.franklincountyohio.gov/summer. Again, thank you all for joining us today, and have a great remainder of the afternoon. See you next time.